Hey, 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 hey. Here I am on my daughter's deck in Squamish. And it just, I've been reading from Daily Reflections, and that's my plan today to do that again. And I just want to share with you. I had a sponsee called me yesterday, and he said, how can you hear, kind of discern or hear the voice of ego as opposed to the voice of God, and or the voice of of universal intelligence, whatever name you have for that, that power greater than ourselves. And my experience with that is that the voice of my ego is usually quite loud, and the voice of consciousness or universal intelligence is quieter, and I have to listen. I have to be able to sit still and hear that voice. The voice of ego says, "What are you doing reading these things every day? Who do you think you are?" That's the voice of ego, and it's usually loud, and I hear it, and I don't get upset with it. I'd say, "Oh, there you are." It's like a kind of like a pet, that is always complaining, or yeah. So that helps at all. I just want to throw that in there. If you ever a question, how do I determine the voice of, the voice of love? So this is my mission of love is to read this, and if anybody hears anything, and these readings are great, and I just wanted to share them, and we call it part of my mission of love. So this is August 14th. The reading is from the Big Book, page 76, and it starts. The title of the day is "Repairing the Damage." We attempt to sweep away the debris which is accumulated out of our effort to live on self-will and run the whole show. That's the first line. We attempt to sweep away the debris which is accumulated out of our effort to live on self-will and run the show ourselves. And I want you to know that a lot of years in recovery, I have lived that way, and so in recovery, I've had to clean up some messes and the things that I did that, well after years after I stopped drinking and using. And it says, if we haven't the will to do this, we ask until it comes. So we pray for the will, at least to have the willingness to be willing, and so if we haven't the will to do this, we ask until it comes. Remember, it was agreed at the beginning, we go to any lengths for victory over alcohol. Any lengths. There's what's going on down there. I'm doing my reading. My daughter's moving the garbage. Hey. Anyway, making a list. Yeah, this is the commentary in the it comes in two parts. I showed you before, but so there's the reading, and then there's the part that is the, as the book says, these are reflections by A members for A members. So here's the reflection. Making a list of people I had harmed was not a particularly difficult thing to do. They had showed up in my fourth step inventory. So the list had showed up in my fourth step inventory. People towards whom I had resentments, real or imagined. So it's interesting because we don't realize the damage that resentments does to us, but also there's an energetic thing. When we're angry at somebody for years, it holds them in an old place. And there's damage caused by having that unloving, resentful feeling, So resentment not only hurts, harms us, but also there's harm to the other. And so we have to make an amend for the resentment, whether it was real or imagined. And resentments, real or imagined, and whom I had hurt by acts of retaliation. For my recovery to be thorough, I believed it was not important for those who have legitimately harmed me to make amends to me. It's not the deal. You know, our deal is to forgive and to ask for forgiveness. What is important in my relationship with God, my higher power, universal intelligence? The whole point of this is to be able to hear that voice, to be able to live in a conscious contact with that, because living on our self-will had not worked, right? What is important in my relationship with God is that I stand before Him, knowing I have done what I can to repair the damages that I've done in my life. So that's it. Daily reading, you know, there's just a great message in here every day. So get one of these and make it part of, you know, it's an uplifting part of the day. It's high vibration, baby. All right, love you from Squamish, British Columbia, off to Vancouver Island today to see my brother Bob. And so tomorrow we'll read from Vancouver Island. Cheers. Bye.